Hey my lovelies, welcome back to my channel and happy Easter Sunday. I hope you're all having a fabulous Easter weekend. I have got my final design of the week using the Nail Team Glitter of the Week, and I have gone for an Easter design with this one. So to see what I've used and how I've created this one, please keep watching. So Ebony is in the hot seat today. She is all prepped and ready to go. So let's see what products I'm going to be using. Gems acrylic system as always. We've got Crystal Clear. I am also going to be using Catherine, beautiful shimmery dusky pink, and Harper, the beautiful soft pink from the new Whispers of Spring collection. The star of the design, the petal glitters, I am using Peony, and then I've got these fabulous Easter Gonk decals from the Decal Queen, which I shall be using. These are the large size decals. There is also some regular ones. They're slightly shorter for more salon length nails, but for this design I wanted to use the large ones. So I've sprayed my little sponge with some water, cut out the Gonk I'm using and popped it on there and to one side so it is ready for when I need it. I used to always forget to get a sponge or a piece of cotton pad or something wet when I was doing decals, so I always keep a spray bottle nearby so that if I have set my table up and I've forgotten, I have water on hand. I will be having a sink in my nail room, so I won't have that problem in future. And I always get my decal ready at the start so that when I come to use it in the design, it is ready. I'm just going in with Gems Crystal Clear Acrylic, doing my thin clear base, and then we'll get into the fun stuff and the actual design. So I decided to do some colour blocking in this design. I haven't done any for a while and I thought it would show a slightly different way of using the petal glitters. There's only going to be 3 blocks of colour on these nails, the 2 colours and the petals in the middle. So I'm starting off with Catherine for my first block, applied it at the cuticle, and then I've just pulled the product down to where I want that sort of colour block to finish. I'm going to do it on the diagonal, so I'm just shaping that with my brush. I want a nice wall to get the next colour up to, and once I was sort of happy, I've come in with my craft knife just to straighten up that line and trim the excess away. I know I say it every time, but if you're not confident using a knife on an actual client, don't. There are alternative ways. You can just shape with your brush and then file it nice and straight. I wasn't too worried about the apex here. You've seen me do this the last few times with my colour blocks and I've capped everything at the end, but I just wanted a little bit more, so I did go in with a second bead just over the top. I tidied up that line. I did then file it because I'd added that second bead of acrylic, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. And now I'm repeating the process on the pinky. So the index and the pinky are going to be identical nails. So here you can see I'm pulling that product down with the belly of my brush, using it to sort of flatten it down, not totally flat because I want that wall, so I've got something to work up to with the next bead. Not worrying about apex or anything here, but just going in with a touch more so that it was sort of an even in height, and then we'll let it set slightly and then go in with the craft knife. You don't want to go in while it's super wet because it'll just go horribly wrong, and if it is too set you won't get the knife through. So there is that sort of magic moment to get the knife through, just a nice straight line, and then we can take away the excess and leave that to fully set. On the middle finger and the ring finger, oh, there's a bit of acrylic on my brush. I did notice it in a minute, by the way, and get rid of it, but it's really annoying that I spot it. But on the middle 2 nails, sorry, I'm going to do an ombre between the 2 pinks, so Catherine at the tip and then Harper from the cuticle, down. So I'm just applying my Catherine beads first, blend it back, so flip my brush and blend it back towards the cuticle, and then I'm just adding a few more beads right to the very tip of the nail, making sure I've got nice coverage and I've got enough height so that I don't file the colour away at the end, but not too much that when I encapsulate it I've got a big fat chunky nail. I always find with stilettos there is sort of, you just got to be just so with those stiletto tips, and sometimes I have a nasty habit of filing the colour away at the tip, so you've got to, you know, just make sure you've got enough there. And then exactly the same process on the ring finger. So I've applied that first bead, blended it back, and now here you can see I'm just using the belly of the brush to sort of pull the rest of the product down. I just went back to work on that blend, which really didn't matter because I'm adding sort of decals and glitters here, so you're not really going to see a lot of the blend, but you know, this is me. Just getting rid of that hair that I didn't want in the design, and later found I didn't get rid of. Luckily it wasn't in the design, it was stuck at the back where I'd applied the tip, so it was all good. So just finishing this off, shaping that stiletto so that you know, I've got less to do, and when I do encapsulate I don't have a weird wonky shape. Now we're going to be using the peony petal glitters. So you see me do this in a video, I forgot how many I'd done. Just tipped some out on to my little bit of kitchen roll. I find it much easier to pick them up this way. And then I've just gone in with a little wash of clear acrylic just where I want to place my petals. I'm only going to do a couple of rows of petals, so I didn't want loads of clear acrylic. And now I'm just using my crystal pickup tool. This is now my glitter pickup tool, to pick up those little bits of glitter and place them on the nail. Just get rid of that little bit of excess clear acrylic because it was going to add too much bulk, so get rid of it so I can add a little bit more of a wash to add the second line. And then I'm just sort of going to place these glitter pieces in the gaps, a bit like brickwork. So the joins, you fill in the joins sort of thing. And I'm going to do exactly the same here on the, or not here, I'm going to do exactly the same as I've done here on the pinky. So just two little lines of petal glitters, and when they are stuck in place we will encapsulate in clear acrylic and just bring it to the same height as that first block of colour. So here you can see I'm doing the same. I've already put down the clear acrylic, by the way. It wasn't like magic that this is sticking to the nail. So have you done anything exciting this Easter weekend? Any Easter egg hunts or visits to the Easter bunny? I'd love to know what you guys have been up to. Now Ryan's older, you know, we don't tend to do so much. We've just been at home. As I said in a previous video, my sister's in Canada, so it's just the three of us plus the dog, though my sister's friend has been taking the dog out quite a lot with her dog. So it's just been the three of us. Haven't been to see the littlest nephews because school holidays and Ryan being here, I've sort of spent time with him, which has been lovely. But yeah, we've not really done much. Got another week of holidays, so I'm going to go out and do a few bits this week, I think. And I only had one Easter egg. Ryan and my dad got me an Easter egg, but it was a Reese's chocolate Easter egg, so you know, I'll take that for my one Easter egg. Right, petals are all in place, so now I'm going to encapsulate just that block, those glitters, because I want to create that wall ready for the next colour. So I've drained some of the liquid out of that bead. There wasn't enough acrylic, so I've gone in with another one, and I just want to encapsulate that block like I said. So I'm using the side of my brush to push that bead up just to where those petal glitters finish, because I don't want a line of clear acrylic. And then once it started to set, I've gone in with my craft knife and cut the excess away right to the bottom of that petal line. And then exactly the same, didn't really drain out enough liquid here, but bit of work with the brush and we get there. And as you can see, I've just taken the height to the same as that first block of colour because I'm going to encapsulate it all at the end. I can file it down a little bit before I encapsulate if I want to as well. So here we go, just trimming that away. If I'm not happy with the line, I can go in and file it before I add the next colour. But to be honest, with the craft knife, you get such a nice straight line that you don't really need to. And it's just taking a step away and a bit of time saving. While that clear acrylic fully sets, I'm going to move back to the middle two nails and my pinky ombres, and I'm going to go in with Harper. So this is going to be from the cuticle, and then I'm just going to fade it over top of Catherine. Harper is an incredibly pigmented colour. They're not always the easiest colours to ombre with, and you might find this is one easier to do as your bottom colour and ombre something into it. But a little bit of working it wet so that you can go back to the previous colour if need be without adding lots of bulk. You can make it work. Now, it wasn't vital that this blend was perfect because I already knew my little Gonk decal was going on there and it was going to cover 90% of that blend. But you know me, I like it to be just so. And also I didn't want to be adding loads of bulk with Harper because of that decal. I didn't want to file any of it away. I learnt with the first nail, so I started with a smaller bead on the pinky, placed that where Catherine blended out and then blended that one in. Now, at this precise moment in time, I wasn't 100% sure what I was going to do on the pinky. I knew I was going to do sort of some petals on there, maybe create a flower, but I kind of decided as I was going and as I applied the decal on the middle finger to add a couple of decals on here as well. So in the end I did cover most of the blend as well, but because I wasn't 100% sure, I was taking a little bit more care with this blend. But it is such a pigmented colour. I definitely wanted to go in and add a little bit more Catherine, although I don't think I did. I just worked with Harper. But I'm trying not to add any bulk so that I don't file away any of what I put on top. So just going in with a couple more teeny tiny little wet beads so I can work on that blend. Flipping the brush so I can sort of blend back as well. And once I was happy there, I'm going to go in and apply Harper to my final block of my colour block nails. So I want to get this colour right up to the first block. I have sort of overlapped it slightly, so I have got some Harper on my clear and petal block. That doesn't matter because before I fully encapsulated these nails, I just ran over that block with a sort of 180 240 grit file, and that just got rid of any of that Harper that was on that middle block. You can wipe it away with the brush, tidy it up, clean it off, but if you don't manage to get rid of all of it, just file it off. Just gently file over without filing away any of the colour block to get rid of it on that middle block. And so just making sure I've got coverage right to the very tip, again not too thick that I file it away, and then I'm just going to leave that to set, and then they're ready to fully encapsulate just after I've tidied up that middle block. Time to add our decals. So wash of clear acrylic. Didn't have enough clear acrylic, it's quite a big decal, so just a tad more, and then we like to let that go a little bit tacky. I'm going to slide the decal off the backing. I just blot off any excess liquid on my hand, but because they've been on the sponge and not actually submerged in water, there tends not to be any. And then I've just placed that on the nail where I want it, just using that little silicone end of my tool to get right in around the cuticles, and then I am just gently patting it down. It looks a little bit more vigorous than it is because it's sped up, but just gently patting it down and leaving that to fully stick. Now this is where I'm going to add my little flower using the petal glitters. So I've just added a little bit of clear acrylic. It was a bit too bulky there, so I've just patted it down. And now I'm just picking up my little petals and placing them in a little flower shape. I quite like doing this with gel polish as well, but I thought it looked quite nice with the little Gonk and also the colour block nails. And this is where I decided to add a little Easter egg decal in the middle of the nail where that blend is. As I was finishing off the design, I decided I wanted to add a second Easter egg decal as well. In fact, it might have been at this point I decided I wanted to add it. So I cut out a second Easter egg and added it onto my sponge. But here we're going to slide our little egg off the backing and just pat it into place. And then I decided to add a second flower at the bottom, but this added too much bulk after I'd encapsulated, so I filed it away. So you don't see that in the finished nail, but here where I've added my second little Easter egg, so just patting that down, and now this set is ready to fully encapsulate in clear acrylic. Like I said, on those colour block nails, I just went over the middle block, the petals and the clear acrylic to get rid of any harper that might have been on there. Then I encapsulated all of these nails, filed them back to that nice sharp stiletto, refined the surface. As I said, I did file away that flower on the bottom of that ring finger, and actually I much preferred it. But then once they're all filed, we'll be ready to finish these nails off with Miss Tina Top. So here they are, all freshly filed. You will see where that flower has disappeared. I actually think it looks much better like this. I much prefer it. So giving them a good clean over with my little wax strip and some cleanser before going in with Miss Tina Top. I didn't want to add any crystals or anything on this design. I thought it was perfect as it was. But if you wanted to, obviously you could. So going in with a nice coat of Tina Top over top of all of these nails. Look how pretty those petal glitters are. And this video has just shown you a couple of other ways you could use these glitters, not just doing full nails. I mean, you could do a full nail like the pinky and just do sort of different colours if you wanted to, but I do quite like them just as a block of colour in the middle. We're going to cure these for 60 seconds, and that is my pretty pink Easter Gonk design complete. I love this one. I feel I saved the best till last this week. I love my full nail ones, but I just thought these were so cute, and I love the decal queen for all of my decals. She's got some fabulous new ones as well, so do check out the website. And obviously everything else I've used is from the nail team, and they have got a huge Easter sale on now. You can get 20% off all Gems Nail Systems products. That's the acrylic, the gel polish, the acrygel, the files, the tips, the inks, the brushes, the Preciosa crystals, everything. 30% off all nail team products, glitters, pigments, chromes, flakes, foils, stickers, and a massive 50% off all online courses. So if you are looking to learn a new nail art technique or brush up on something, now is the time. Head over to thenailteam.com and check out their Easter sale. As always, I'll pop the product details in the description box, but that is it for me for this video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the Easter weekend. Please give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. Please click subscribe, and I'll see you again next week with a brand new glitter and colour of the week. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. Mwah.